Okay. Just by way of introduction, I'm Dr. Bruce Wright. I'm the team lead for airman education out of Oklahoma City. Been doing this with the FAA for about 3 years because I've been doing this for the Air Force for about the last 35. So this is the retirement job. This is doing what I enjoy doing. The Air Force, doing research for them and so forth. What they told me to do, when they told me to do it. And this is just kind of laid back and enjoyable. So I enjoy this as much as you guys are going to. Awesome. So this is going to be a hypoxia demonstration. Okay, right now, not going to get your wings credit, although I just talked with the wings coordinator. He's in the other room, and he said it is possible we might be able to do that. So we got your name and all that kind of stuff. You may get wings credit for it after the fact. I'm not going to worry about that. Bob Jex is working it. Hey, if he can work some magic, awesome. You get credit for it. This is a very quick demonstration. We got the chamber here at 93% oxygen, 93% nitrogen, 7% oxygen. That is the physiological equivalent of about 27,000 feet. Okay? As soon as you come through the door here, you are going from basically sea level out here to 27,000 feet. So the first breath you take, you have rapid decompressed to altitude. Your symptoms are going to come on pretty quick. Okay? By the time you're sitting down, chances are you will have one symptom. Okay? That exercise of walking, 10, maybe 20 feet to get to your chair, your heart rate is going to be up and your breathing rate is going to be up. I can guarantee that. You may not notice it yourself, which is why you're going to be wearing a pulse oximeter. Okay? It's something that most people just don't pay attention to. Okay? Medical people, we sit down across from someone and we start to do an evaluation. Okay? That person looks like they're breathing a little fast. They're a little nervous. Okay? Understandable. You're going into a strange environment. You're around people wearing the FAA logo. Yeah, there's reason to be nervous. Okay? Okay? Sitting here, your pulse oximeter should be reading somewhere around 98-99%. Pulse rate, whatever's normal for you. Mid-70s, 80s, whatever it happens to be. What I want you to do on that worksheet you have in front of you, line number 4, that's your baseline. Okay, you're sitting here relaxed before you even go in the chamber. That's your baseline. And by the way, the pulse oximeter should be on your non-writing hand. It makes it much easier. Otherwise, this really does get in the way. And if it, give it a minute or so to stabilize, but really shouldn't be any problem with that. The symptoms that you're going to get in here are the exact same symptoms that you would get if we put you in an aircraft, brought you up unpressurized to 27,000 feet, or brought you to Oklahoma City and put you in our big iron altitude chamber and sucked all the air out of it to be the physiological equivalent of 27,000 feet. It's just 3 different ways to get into the same endpoint. So what are your symptoms going to be? Well, you don't know yet. Okay, I can't point to you and say, you're going to get dizzy. You're going to get tingling in your fingers. You're going to get just a short nerve. There's no way for me to do this. 38 years of doing this, there's no way to know it. The only way is to go in and experience it. And you are going to basically do an assessment of your own body. What are you feeling? What are you seeing? Okay, some people are going to get tunnel vision. Okay, and you're not going to notice it unless we tell you. Check your vision. Look up around the chamber. Are the colors on the color wheel on the back wall here, are they getting dimmer? Okay, unless you are prodded to notice stuff like that, chances are you will never notice it in the aircraft. But things like tingling, shortness of breath, maybe headache, those are noticeable. Okay, and we want you to check them off as those symptoms come on. And I'm going to be outside, and every minute I'm going to basically prod you. Okay, another minute has gone by. What is different? Do you notice anything different? Look around the chamber. What are you feeling? How is your breathing going? Do you feel like your chest is pounding? Okay, the heart rate has gone up a little bit. Okay, you look down, is your saturation now below 90? Well, in the first minute, it should be. Okay, what about in the aircraft? Does anyone fly with a pulse oximeter?
I have.
Okay, it's cheap, and I mean cheap insurance. One of the vendors over in the, actually it's that way, the hangars where all the vendors are, at least 2 of the oxygen system vendors are offering a pulse oximeter, air show special, $25. Okay, you're not going to find them cheaper than that. And this is the only instrument in the cockpit that is measuring pilot performance. What is everything else on that panel measuring? Engine performance, aircraft performance. Nothing measures pilot performance. The air traffic controller, there have been a few saves where they've noticed, okay, the pilot is not responding. He's coming back, he's mumbling, and they've done a couple of saves. They have actually told the pilot, you need to descend right now. And the pilot still had enough mental awareness, they were able to save the pilot in a bad situation. Where can this happen? You have to be above 10,000 feet? Yeah. What happens if you have a crack in your muffler and you have cabin heat and you're sucking all those exhaust fumes into the cabin? It can happen at ground level. Anyone fly with a carbon monoxide detector in the cockpit? Okay, is it a little card or is it electronic?
Electronic.
Okay, the cards, I like them. You got to remember to replace them every, 60 days, 90 days? Yeah, you got to remember to do that. The electronic ones, I will caution you that they give you a lot of false alarms, and like any other thing, measurement instrument, it gives you too many false alarms. What do?
Ignore it.
Off. So, yeah, that's the problem. And if you start with the cabin door open, you get that exhaust until you're sealed up, yeah, you're going to get false alarms. So that's the caution with those. So anyway, the whole idea is we're going to file in here. You're going to sit down. You're going to be checking off the symptoms. Every minute, I'll prod you. Check them off as you get them. How many symptoms do you want? Ideally, in the aircraft, yeah, you don't want any at all. We're in a controlled environment here. I'm going to have one of my inside observers there with me. That's your safety backup. You're wearing this. You're not going to let this reading get below 60. Actually, even below 70 is probably pushing it. No more than 3 symptoms. 2 is good. 1, I'd be a little suspect. Okay, is it really a symptom, or did I just get an itch and it's just an itch? Okay, 2 good symptoms that you can recognize. 3rd one is your backup, and then back it up with the, okay, I was down at 70%. Yeah, it's time to put the mask on. Okay, the mask you're going to be using is a demand type system. It does not go like this. Tell people, mask to the face now. Southwest, remember what they did? The rapid decompression last year? Yeah, that's how most of the passengers were wearing their masks. You hear the hiss? If you don't have a good seal, you're not going to hear that hiss, which means you're not getting oxygen, you're just breathing room air. So you hear the hiss, you know you're getting oxygen, you got to hold it up to your face. Once it goes up to the face, your demonstration is over. You don't put it down and let's try for seconds. No, it goes up to the face and you are now watching everyone else. And actually that's good too. See what other people look like as we get more hypoxia. Okay? Look around the chamber, see if you notice that kind of stuff. Actually your skin is light enough. Chances are we're going to be able to notice as you start getting more and more hypoxic, you may get some bluing in your lips and your fingernail bed. We may be able to see that. It's kind of a solid color change, so we'll see, maybe. Okay. Hit the oximeter, hit the oxygen mask. Everyone knows, in order to pass, you need to put the mask on for yourself. You do a face plant on the floor, that is not passing. Okay? That is, you failed. Okay? If we have to drag you out of here, yeah, you failed. You need to put the mask on yourself. So, yeah. So, any questions before we head inside? Okay, everyone's knowing what to look for. Check them off as you get them. And I'll try and keep you busy and distracted because everyone knows that air traffic control is never going to let you just fly in peace. So. All right. Okay, just set that oxygen mask in your lap. And for this first minute, just start paying attention to what's going on with you. How do you feel? Do you notice any change right now? Okay, you just walked all of, 20 feet? Does it feel like you're breathing any heavier? Okay, maybe nothing right now, but take a look around. Take a look at the color wheel up here on the wall. Do those colors look nice and bright, vivid, good dividing line between each color? Or are you starting to notice they're maybe a little bit dim? Okay, those are the kind of things we want you to notice throughout the rest of the demonstration. Take note of it now. Everyone doing good. Okay, we are at the 1 minute point. You've been breathing hypoxic air for 1 minute. Turn that pulse oximeter over so you can read it. Write down that number in the far lower left-hand corner of the page. Check off any symptoms. Okay, once you have your symptoms checked off and you wrote down that pulse oximeter number, go back up to the top of the worksheet. Maybe work that crossword puzzle. I suggest trying a couple of the math problems now while you still can do them. Okay, and you're just getting more and more hypoxic, and we'll just let that continue to happen. And none of those crosswords are all that difficult. You should be able to get those pretty easily. We are now at the 2 minute point. So the second column on the bottom of your worksheet. Second column, start checking off your symptoms. Write down that pulse oximeter reading below that column. So check off your symptoms just by a show of hands. Huh? Does everyone have at least one symptom? Okay, at least one? Okay, and Jesse, 1, 2 symptoms? 2? Okay. Got them checked off. That's what we're looking for. Go back on the worksheet, work some more of the problems. And actually, let me ask, okay, Brett, you're a pilot. Okay? Let me ask you this. Your aircraft burns 6 gallons of fuel per hour. You've been flying for 2 hours and 45 minutes. How much fuel have you burned? Okay, write that number down next to the maze. Okay, we are at the 3 minute point. Go to that middle column down at the bottom of the page. Check off those symptoms again. Write down your pulse oximeter number. And Ryan, okay, you're a pilot. Okay, you're flying on a heading of 185. Air traffic control tells you to reverse course. What is your reciprocal heading? Okay, whatever number you come up with, write it down next to the maze. What is the reciprocal heading of 185? Okay? Jesse's back on. 30. Okay, Jesse, good. Hold that mask up tight. Good. Ryan, good. Mask up to the face. Okay, we have the 4 minute point, 4th column. Check off your symptoms. Write down that pulse oximeter number. Anyone below 70? Okay, got a couple. Okay, you're getting into the twilight zone, 70, especially into the 60s. You need to be thinking about putting that mask on. Okay, time to check off those last symptoms. We're coming up to 5 minutes. I'm not going to let you go any longer than 5 minutes. So check off those symptoms, get that pulse oximeter reading. Okay, 5 minutes, mask on, mask on. Brian, mask on. Good seal on the face, good deep breath. And look up here, see if those if the colors on the color wheel have changed for you. They're getting brighter. Okay, should happen pretty rapidly. Okay, and everyone else is on oxygen. Everyone looks like we've survived. We have 5 survivors, that's a good thing. We're gonna let everyone get back up, get your saturation back up again. We'll let Brian have another minute or so to catch up. And then we're gonna hand out some gauze pads, and we're all gonna clean the oxygen breath. Second one, and drop the mask and use that swab to clean out the inside of the mask. And drop the mask in the chair. Okay, did everyone get at least a symptom? At least one? You got 3, okay. Which one of those symptoms that if you had more than one, which one is the one that you would say, there is no question in my mind? By that time, it could be the first one, it could be the second one, but that's the one you should circle. That's the one you need to watch for in the aircraft. Okay? If you got one before that, that's kind of your warning sign, something's up. And at that point, you need to look at your pulse oximeter and confirm, okay, is it below 90? Okay, personally, if you're at 10,000 feet, you should probably be between 88 and 90 is a normal reading for 10,000 feet. If you're getting into the low 80s, something's wrong. Okay, you may have just a bad day. What happens if you donate blood? You go down a lot faster. What I recommend is blood donation at least 3 days before you go flying unpressurized. At least 3 days. If I'm going to well, especially a very high altitude, I'll make it a week. And that's just, I can pick and choose when I go fly, so you know that's me. 3 days, that's what we require out of the commercial pilots if they're flying a 747, whatever. 3 days, 72 hours. What about, could you get these symptoms at ground level? We already talked about the example, carbon monoxide. In Oklahoma, it seems like every winter we have someone with a carbon monoxide in their home. The home heater, the heater itself has cracked, and they're piping not just hot air into the house, but hot air with carbon monoxide. We see it every winter. Don't know where you are. It may or may not be a problem, but we've had people sitting there watching TV and they're like, I feel strange. I've got my hypoxia symptoms. And what do? You're already at ground level. Go outside. You need to get outside, yeah. Something's wrong. With any luck at all, you've got a cat or a dog or something like that that is warning you. Animals are very good at picking up carbon monoxide. They will start acting funny right away, or they might just curl up at your feet and save me. So that's one of the things that we'd like to point out. The pulse oximeter, is it going to pick up carbon monoxide? No. It'll pick up your saturation is only going to go down at altitude. Carbon monoxide, your blood stays bright red. So you're hypoxic, you could have a carboxyl hemoglobin of 50%, and your blood is still bright red. And these pulse oximeters, it's really a colorimeter. It is measuring you going from pink to sort of pinkish blue.
Okay.
That's all it's doing.
The CO just replaces oxygen.
The CO just replaces oxygen. As a matter of fact, most people appear kind of flushed and bright red. And the pulse oximeter is not going to go. But now, you know your symptoms, whether it's walking around here, sitting in your living room, or sitting in the pilot seat, you know what to look for now. Okay, some things to look for in the aircraft. Is it going to be always above 10,000 feet? No, we know the answer to that. Actually, we had an incident coming into Sun and Fun. We had a pilot flying in. He had been at altitude, and he was searching for Lakeland ground lights, and he couldn't see them. It was just after dusk, and he's going, no, airport not in sight. Okay, you're within 5 miles. You ought to be able to see it by now. And he had a wingman with him. The guy said, you better take a couple of hits of oxygen. A couple of hits of oxygen, and the lights came back on. He was at 5,000 feet. But night vision is affected much more than daytime vision. So, okay, it was a good outcome coming in here, but it's something to think about. If you're doing a night approach and landing, if you have oxygen on board the aircraft, that'd be a good thing before you start your approach. Maybe be on oxygen for a few minutes before you start that approach and landing. How many fly with oxygen systems in the aircraft? Not routine. They are getting cheap enough now, it might be worthwhile getting an emergency system. Again, the vendors over here, they have single place portable systems starting about $300. So they're also available for rent. If you're heading out west, you're going to be getting into the mountains, you can rent them from FBOs. And they're relatively cheap. I'm not going to say they're dirt cheap. They're not. They're probably going to charge you, a couple $100 for the week. For that kind of money, maybe you ought to think about just buying your own. So anyway, everyone got their symptoms. You know what to look for. Any questions? You all passed. You put your own mask on. You decided yourself. That's what we're looking for. The sheet is yours. Fold it up. Take it with you. I would put it like in your logbook or something. The pulse oximeters, those are not souvenirs. Yeah. So that needs to stay on the clipboard. But like I said, 005. Okay, so mental math, you were getting a little fuzzy. That was about the 3.5. Okay, and someone else had a fuel burn.
Yeah, fuel burn. I just said it was more than 12. I was like, man.
Okay, that's your mental math. But you were still flying. You were still responding.
Yeah, mental math. Those little numbers, I was like,
So, what do you do in the aircraft?
I'm struggling with that. I'm like, all right, just sit there.
It's going to be pull up.
The calculator.
Calculator.
There we go.
Or if you have, all the fancy instruments, I fly, needle ball airspeed. I'm tail wheel. I don't get above 3,000 feet. That's high enough. I wouldn't be able to read the name of the city on the water tower. Okay? Yeah. I don't do high altitude anymore. I'm in an airplane to put a smile on my face. So, yeah.